Hi, I'm Orman Beckles, aka TheHiTechNomad, and welcome to my exclusive content on Patreon. I'm going to do a lot more projects where I really get right into it, but if you're most of the content that's on YouTube it's quick, it's hi, this is how it does it, but I'm going to do longer projects and do them step by step so you can see what's going on, but I can't do them over there. So I'm going to do Patreon. So for the beginning, I'm going to obviously just give this content away for free because I want people to see what we're doing over here. But eventually we'd like you to join the Patreon. It's $1 a month, which is $12 a year, but that really goes a long way. All right, enough with the commercial. So we're going to take a look and see how to use Todoist as a program manager. A project manager. Now, it's not really supposed to be a project manager, but in some cases you may want to. So, for example, here's a make a video list, and as you can see, I've got research video, write a script, record a video, and publish. Now, the problem is that I can click on any one of these. Here we go. So now I've gone ahead and I've clicked on publish video, even though I haven't done the other ones. So there's a problem here. I need these to be done in a certain order. Now, what I'm about to show you does take a little bit to set up, but once you set it up, you can use it for other projects. And let's just get right into it. All right, the first thing we need to do is we need to create some labels. So we're going to go over to label, and we're going to create a label, and this is going to be called Task 1. That's the label for that one. Then we're going to come over, and we're going to create another one, and we're going to call that Task 2. And that's one is done. And then we're going to go over, in this case, and do a task 3. And we'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll create the ever popular task 4. So now we have 4 labels, task 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So again, on a normal list, we have our 4 items, but we want these items to be done in order. So it's hot in here with these lights. So we want them done in an order, publish video. So here's what we're going to do. Now, yes, when you click on these, they go away. And if you were to click on this, you could see them. But this isn't really all that helpful because you can see I have 2 published videos and a record video. It's not as easy to figure out what was done when. So let's come over to our project management example. Now, what we're going to first do is we're going to create a non-destructive item. And you do that by simply adding an asterisk to the beginning of the label. So we're going to say star YouTube video. Now what that's done is that's made it so that we can't get rid of this. All right. Now we're going to we want to take everything out except for the first item. You'll see why in a second. Okay, so we want just the first item, which is research video. All right, so let's go back out. So we have this one. So the only one we can click is this one, but we don't have the other items there. So that doesn't do. So if I go ahead and I click on this, this will disappear, but we don't have the other item. Now, this is non-destructible, which means that I can click on that, unclick this, and I'm back where I started. So now what we're going to do is we're going to assign a label to this research video, and the label we're going to assign to it, you guessed it, is task 1. Okay? So now we have task 1. Now, how do we get it to do that? Well, we're going to use IFTTT. Now, IFTTT is a free service. I've talked about this in other videos. You can take a look at this on my YouTube channel. But basically, you can make something happen when something else happens, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to go in and create a new if this, then that. So what we want to have happen is we want something to happen when we complete task 1. And I think you all know what we're going to do. We're going to have it do task 2. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say, it says, what has to happen? So we're going to go over to Todoist. And we're going to say, it says, new task created with a label, new task completed with label. That's the key. So we're going to say new task created with label. Now it says, which label am I looking for? And we're going to find task 1. It says, okay. And in which project will this be in? And we're going to look for that one that says demo project management. Okay. And now it says, okay, so when that happens, when a task in that folder labeled task 1 is marked as complete, what do you want me to do? Well, we're going to go back in and we're going to say Todoist. And this time, because we're telling it what to do, it knows, you see we have less choices. This one is just to create a task. Okay, so what is the task? Where do we want to create this task? We want to create this task in Project Management. And it says, okay, what is this task going to be called? Well, we're going to take the second item. I'm going to put that in there. Write script. Okay, do we have a due date? No, we don't have any specific due date. Of course, we could. You know what? I'm going to actually put in a due date that it's next week. Just to show you. You kind of can't. You don't need to put this in, but you can if you want to. All right? So, we go ahead and click on that. We click on Finish. Now, when we complete a task in Project Management with a label of Task 1, of which there's only one, it's going to add a second item. So here we only have one item. We're now going to complete that item, and we'll give it a second. So now it's telling IFTTT, I just completed a task. It says, hey, that's got a label of Task 1. You told me to look for this. Now we'll just click off this over for 1 second. We'll come back down. Give it a second. Give it a second. And bingo. There we go. All right. Took about a minute. And you see now we have that particular task. Now we just do that again for the next task. So we actually should have put that label. Let's go back in and modify this. So we're going to go in. We're going to go to Settings. And we're going to modify this because we want to have the label on this be for task 2, because we need it to be task 2. We're going to come over and we're going to say task 2. I'm going to take out the due date for right now. We'll go ahead and we'll save it. Okay. Now we can actually start this process all over again. We can go ahead and get rid of that because that doesn't trigger anything at this particular point. And when we click on this, we have this original task. So I can actually start this process all over again by unchecking that. So now here we are. We're back at task 1. Let's go ahead and now give that a click. So we go ahead and we do that. It's telling IFTTT, I just finished a task. IFTTT is saying, okay, I need to make a new task. It's going to go ahead and do that. Again, it takes about a minute for it to do it. And there we go. So it took about 2 minutes for it to do that. You're going to have to live with that because IFTTT sometimes takes a couple of minutes before it decides what it's going to do. So now we have task 2. So again, we've got what we want. We couldn't even click on this task because it wasn't visible to us until we cleared that. So I think you know what we're going to do next. So we're going to go back to IFTTT. We'll create a new one and do the third item. So what we'll do now is go back to the beginning of IFTTT. We'll go to Explore. We'll go to Create. When what happens? Well, when in Todoist, a task is complete with task 2 in Project Management. What should I do? You should go into Todoist and create a task in Project Management. And that's going to be the third item, which is record. And we're going to put a task of task 3 on there. And again, you can have a due date on it, not have a due date on it, have a priority, whatever you want to do. So we'll go ahead and we'll save that. And I think you know where we're going from here. All right. So let's go ahead and just do the fourth one just because it takes a minute for it to do it anyway. So let's go ahead and do the fourth one. Now, because we have those labels, if you need to do this for another project, you can do that. Just use those same labels because you're going to use task 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's going to be in this project over here. So you would set up, and there's no limit to how many I think the limit of IFTTT tasks you can have is like 300, so I'm not worried about that. And again, you're not going to do this for every task, but if you have something like I do with doing a video, that I need to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then you can see that this works out just fine. And then I can start the process all over again. When I get to the end, all I have to do is uncheck that first task because that's the only one that's really there, and I can start all over again. So let's go ahead and go to Explore. Let's do a Create. What happens when we're in Todoist? And we are looking at task 3 in project management. We want it to go ahead and go to Todoist again, create a task in project management, and we'll do the fourth one, which is publish video. And you know what? You could put this in a loop if you wanted to. You could go ahead so that when this one gets through, you could start it all over again. So we're going to go ahead and say task 4, and we'll put that as up most urgent priority just so you can see what that's like. And we'll do a due date of next week. Just so you can see we can add those. Okay. Now, like I said, IFTTT takes anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes to process when it's doing just because there's so many things going on. So as long as you can live with that, you're fine. So now we have write script. I'm going to go ahead. I've completed that. Now I'm going to wait a minute to 2 minutes. And there we go. Okay. So now there's task 3, and we'll finish it off. We'll go ahead and get rid of that one. Again, going to take about a minute to 2 minutes. Oh, that was quicker. And there we are. And you can see it says next Tuesday, and you see it has a higher priority. Now, when we finish this task, obviously nothing will happen. But if we go ahead and we click on this, all we have to do to start this whole process all over again is just unclick this task, and boom, we're ready. It'll start all over again. Now, technically, I think you probably could put it in a loop to do this. I just always get nervous about loops, so I'm going to leave it like this. So now I'm back to what do I have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I go ahead and I click on that, it's going to take about a minute. And there you go. So it took about a minute and a half. So this is a way that you can use Todoist as a project management tool. You can't do this with huge projects, but you can do it, like I said, with something like this where I have to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this. You can go ahead and set that up. All right, hopefully you've enjoyed this content. As I said, I'm going to do more of these in-depth, hands-on. They're slow and boring for YouTube, but if you're trying to figure out how to do this, then the time that I'm taking to show you is hopefully worth it. So please consider becoming a patron. $1 a month. Sounds like a little bit, but it actually means a whole heck of a lot. Things on YouTube, I have to get like 10,000 views in order to get $1, so I'd much rather get $1 over here. I'm doing YouTube full time now, so every little bit helps. Hope you've enjoyed the content. Be sure to check out the main channel. And until the next time, this is Orman Beckles, aka the TheHiTechNomad, signing out.